From the Communicating Science section, this is the narrated PowerPoint on negotiating organizational constraints, tactics for technical communicators. Finally, we have Marge Hove's article. She's a technical communications scholar. And her big question here is, how does the technical communicator create documentation in a resistant environment? And the way that she's been thinking about resistant environment is not just the public versus the community of scientific or technical experts, but within a company itself. How do you deal with a boss whose attitude is that the engineers should be the ones doing all the writing, and they don't really need technical writers, but somehow this person has gotten forced into a corner, or others have forced this idea on the president of the company. How does the technical communicator then deal with a scenario like that? And so Hove takes you through several different approaches. Certainly, there's perpetuating the culture, and these ideas certainly they have broader applications than just in a scenario where someone may be resistant in the company to what you're trying to do. But certainly in any corporate culture, there's going to be a certain amount of agreeing, complying, and acquiescing, or that is, giving in to what someone else wants to do. And then, of course, at other times, it's necessary to resist the corporate culture, and in doing so, it isn't so much it isn't that the technical communicators trying to do this to cause problems, but to actually to improve how things are done, and perhaps then the outcome might be more better business. So. And then finally, the last one, influencing the culture, is when the technical communicator especially gets to the point where he or she is in a management position. Then they can start making what they meant here by making new decisions was making decisions on issues where there's no precedent. Lawyers deal with precedent quite a bit. There's been they have a client who has a particular problem. They look at the case law, what's happened in the past, and then they use this to support an argument for what decision they think the judge should make. Well, people run into that in the workplace as well. There's a new type of technology. Suddenly the company needs to deal with having a social media presence. Should the company do that or not? And it could be that the savvy technical communicator will probably say, yeah, we should. Well, then how do we go about doing this? Do we hire somebody? Are we going to use somebody who's already working for the company to be the social media manager? And then, with a small company, yes, you may just have one person who has that added to their responsibilities. But when you get into working with bigger companies, then what you wind up with is a social media team. You might have someone who's in charge of the web interface, and someone else who is in charge of organizing the corporate resources during times of emergency, and so forth. So, and of course, when you're influencing the culture, you're also able to write proposals, not only for business with other companies, but to change how your company is doing business. And of course, all this may involve educating the people around you to help them to see that the types of changes you'd like to make would be for the best. So this is it's a very detailed article, and there's a lot of it's a case study of several different organizations, and it's definitely well worth your while to read through and to think about how it might apply it to different scenarios you find yourself dealing with. Questions? I'll see you online.